from the 8th of July 2020 and runs until the 31st of March 2021. If I may, I will speak to clauses 1 and 2 of the bill and also to new clause 1 tabled in the name of the Leader of the Opposition. Mr. Chairman, this bill contains 2 clauses. The first clause provides for the thresholds at which stamp duty land tax is due on residential property to be increased for a temporary relief period with effect from 8th of July 2020 to the 31st of March 2021. The effect of this is that the first £500,000 of consideration for standard purchases of residential property will be free of tax, whereas previously only the first £125,000 was free of tax. The clause changes the rules in relation to other elements of stamp duty land tax which are affected by the temporary holiday, such as the higher rates for the purchase of additional properties and first-time buyers' relief. The higher rates for additional dwellings will continue to apply in addition to the standard rates of stamp duty land tax. This means that for purchases of additional dwellings, the first £500,000 of the consideration will be subject to the higher rates, 3% on top of any existing SDLT rate. Further, the clause ensures that Section 57 and B and Schedule 6ZA of the Finance Act 2003, which give effect to first-time buyers' relief, is temporarily disregarded until the 31st of March 2021. Finally, the clause makes sure that no additional tax will be due when a contract is completed after the temporary relief period has ended, if the transaction was substantially performed within the temporary relief period. This is provided that the only reason for additional tax becoming due is the return to the standard rates of SDLT after the end of the temporary relief period. Clause 2 provides that the bill may be cited as the Stamp Duty Land Tax Temporary Relief Bill. And with that, I think, let me add one final thing, if I may, that the bill comes into force on royal assent but applies in relation to transactions with an effective date on or after the 8th of July 2020. As a result of the resolutions passed by the House of Commons under the Provisional Collection of Taxes Act 1968, the bill's provisions have effectively been in force since the 8th of July 2020. If I may briefly turn to Labour New Clause 1, this calls for a review of the impact of the Act. To that, I would respond that Her Majesty Revenue and Customs routinely publish quarterly and annual statistics and analysis of stamp duty land tax data, including on first-time buyers and those purchasing additional dwellings. The Government also already closely monitors these statistics and keeps stamp duty policy under constant review. And as part of that, we will continue to examine the effect of the temporary rate change. Mr. Chairman, this is a straightforward bill which enacts the temporary relief to stamp duty land tax announced last week by my honourable friend, the Chancellor. I therefore commend clauses 1 and 2 to the House and ask the House to reject new clause 1.
The question is that clause 1 stand part of the bill. Dan Corden.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.